Hello and welcome back. Excuse me while I cough a bit. That's a lot better. Alright, so we are back in the main base and we are stood by red circuits. As if you hadn't realised, I am getting ready to start building big. And let's just run over here. I'm going to be doing lots of running, so let's run. Okay. Right, so over here we have our modules. And we are bringing in a partial belt of reds. I'd like it to be a full belt, but it's a partial belt. And it is filling up the blue circuit build. And we are starting to fill up this, which is great. This has stalled because it's not getting reds. So we need more red circuits. Now, let's run over here to our red circuit build. This is definitely outputting a fully compressed line of reds. However, let's use the speed calculator tool. There we go. Max rate calculator says we are producing 35 units of red. Except there are machines at the bottom here backed up, and we are absolutely not moving this belt at full speed, right? There's just no possibility that this is running at full speed. So I have no idea what's gone up, what's happened, but we are producing more than one blue belt of circuits, even though max rate calculator says it is 1. So what I want to do is take out a second line of reds from here, and we're going to feed this with some splitter magic almost directly into modules. And I'm not sure the right way to do this. I'm wondering if what we should do is pick a roughly halfway point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 modules. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So what would happen if we pulled off a line here? And I'm really not quite sure how to pull off a line because there isn't a lot of space in this build. It's a tight build. Do we reach all the way? Yeah, we do actually. Okay, so I'm going to swap back into a suit that doesn't have stupid numbers of legs. Okay, so I think if we grab a yellow belt and fill that in, I'm not even sure if halfway is the right place to do this. Right, what I really want to do is take out a second line here. Now, where would that go? Of course, it would go right to where we need to do the lane balancer. So, perhaps we can do something here. If we move that there, grab one of those. Right, can we finagle Yep, it's coming out so far. Now, up here, this is chock full. We've already used an extra line of greens. But to be honest, we are only trying to go over to here, over here somewhere. So, what if we stopped it here and just went straight into where these iron plate lines are dead? Because this is a fix, right? So we just need something that works. So what if we ran this down the old plate line? Okay, so this is the blue circuit build. And this is the modules build. Okay, so if I grab that and move that up one, we could cut that off, put in a blue splitter. Now, we definitely need to have a full line of reds now. Yep. Is this enough to feed both of these? Are we getting a full... So I'm wondering if we need to upgrade this to a blue chunker belt. Let's do it, because it can't hurt. We're not relying on belts to balance here, so we can upgrade. There we go. Okay, so the problem here is that we are... Yeah, we're getting a mixed line now of blues and reds because we were merging. Okay, what's the fix for that? So I want to use a splitter here, but I only want to take half a line of reds. Does that? Yeah, that does it. Okay. So, is this now full? Yes, this is now full. Oh, happy days. Okay, so we are now producing this at full speed. Now, we are chowing down on the circuits here. So we should definitely have an input priority left and an output priority right. Whoops. Input left, output right. No, wrong way. Right, left. That one. Okay. So what that then should allow is this line here to back up, which it has. Back, 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 back. All the way up. Great. So now this is running through there. And that should ultimately back up there. Now, we have an issue here, which is that we are pulling off a single side of this line. Let's run over here. So, we are still getting a full line of reds coming up here. We are pulling off as much as we can from there. These are complaining that they don't have stuff. What is it that they are waiting on? Plastic. Okay, it's our perennial petroleum problem, I think. Yeah. But anyway, they're running. We definitely have a full line coming up here. And we are taking out down the second line. How much? Well, some is the answer. So certainly not a full second line, but plenty. This is still not running at full speed. I would really have expected this to be running at full speed if the output was full and if we got the splitters correct. So the thing is, there's not another place where we can add in the extras. This is still stalling. I wonder, can we add... No, because then that would be side-loaded, which is definitely not what we want. Okay, let's do this one further down. So we are, let's dead that, and try it here. Is that a more smooth? So this is now emptied out. This is still stalling. this is still a fully compressed line. Okay, let's move it up one. We will carry on moving it up one until we get rid of the stalling. Okay, so where was I? Not that one. We were I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Have I got lost? Okay, so this can come up because we're not using it. This is still too high because we still have stalling. Okay, this is running. But we still have stalling. Right, so here's that way. Okay, so this is backing up, so let's try here. Does that let the line flow freely? Yes. So this now has some spare capacity. We're managing to not back up the line all the way. Okay, and the excess is going down this line. And we're getting an occasional gap up here. Yeah, there we are. So I think that's the best we can do currently. So then these extra circuits go this way. They head on down into the circuits build, and we are now merrily producing productivity with stalling. Okay, so the only thing I can do now is to improve the circuit production, and the way to improve that is to sort out petroleum. And to be honest, sorting out petroleum is an entire job, and to do an entire job I would need to basically rebuild the whole refinery process, so that's just not going to happen. So that's just going to have to survive. We will rely on the Megabase build from now on. Okay, so let's grab this. Now there are some jobs to do. Let's put this in manual because living dangerously is the best way to live. Although we will drive gingerly because living is better than not. Okay. This way. Now we're going to go down. Because while you've been away, I have done a little bit of building. All right, this is the junction I normally crash. We did all right. We're good. Okay, and then our traffic should fall off quite a lot here. Out this way. There should be maybe an iron train, but it will be going the same way as us, so we're fine. We're past the iron and up. Okay. This is the line I wanted to look at. So a while ago, this was our access onto the ore bus. Okay, so we now have this skeleton set out. We have an intake for our copper ore and an intake for our iron ore. They then go up, then the iron smelters will be off here, the copper smelters will be off here, and then this is the crossover to allow iron plates and copper plates to merge for our green circuits. And I took this along and along and along till it joined onto the base wall. Since it's joined onto the base wall, we can now get materials in and out of this line via the wall. So this up and down can be removed. So let's give that a go. Whoop, I don't want to get rid of the horizontal. Right, there are some signals there which have been very unhappy because basically we did rude things to them. So that's it. Let's jump out. I'm going to manually deal with these last two. So we now have our crossing back how it was. We're going to back off and delete as we go. Okay, so this sort of thing's going to happen quite a lot. We're going to be doing quite a lot of whoa, didn't mean to get that rock, don't want the rock. What can we do with it? Can't even put this down. Right, let's put a landfill into, yeah, and another landfill. Oh, it's the coal, right. Must have picked up one of those rocks, which is great for starting out and really annoying for everything else. Okay, so there's going to be a bit of this. There's going to be a bit of builds which are there for scaffolding, which we then have to get rid of. Great, and I appear to have some more of something in my inventory, which is annoying it. Okay, we still have something here. Cannot insert stone, presumably because the Logibot can't land. Okay, so let's head down. These solar arrays have worked really well. I'm looking forward to tearing down the world and building much, much bigger ones. All right, let's go up and around the corner. That's a little bit worrying. We really shouldn't... do I want to go that way? No, I want to go around the cross. This is technically on the outside of my laser wall. I'll show you in a moment. Okay, so these biters are here. The laser perimeter is here. So those are technically on the outside of the perimeter. Here. They were down there. Okay. And how are we doing? So we've got this amazing reach now, and we are just clearing out a big swathe of room around these turrets. I'm tempted to do another round of turret range, because that would allow these to get closer towards joining up on automatic, which would get a long way to be towards being able to take out another quarter of this without needing any manual firing, but I think at the moment it's just too expensive. Okay, let's head over here. So this is our laser perimeter. This is the bottom of our northwest corner. Okay, up here, this is our western perimeter defense. it's now massively over-engineered that we can keep the biters back so far, but over-engineered is good. When I do eventually wall in the whole thing, I'll probably use the same wall the whole way. Okay, back over here. This is our iron site. Okay, this is the iron half. And this is where iron will go. So this is really where we need to start thinking about how this is going to be designed. Okay, so let's put down a stub. And I'm not sure if I want this or a half of this. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't want this. I want the half length. So I want a bit of space just so that we're not immediately going into the module. Let's back up. Even without being a mega base, we are rattling through these researches. There we are. Okay, so this is how much space we're going to have. Then what we're going to do is go into a stacker. And the stacker is going to be for our large ore trains and for the trains which are picking up the plates. Then we will go from the stacker into a series of smelting columns. And they're going to be box smelters. The idea is we will have... Right, so if this is the first stacker, it would go something like that. I don't know how long that is, so let's pick up this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so that's not long enough. I'll have to put down an actual train in a minute to find out. Okay. So we would, because it's a stacker, we're going to have several of these. But my hope is we won't need too many, and you'll see why in a moment. So let's put in a third and a fourth, just because. Right, because I'm building this whole thing to be growable, I don't actually know what my final build size will be. All right, so let's put a signal there. Okay, so then trains will make it in. As soon as they are in, I want to mark them as in. Then we're going to use this to count. So that is 4. Eight. 12. So if I did an 8-4, 8 carriages for locomotives, so 4-8, so something like a 2-8-2, for example, that's the length I'd be going for. Okay, and then this end, because it's a stacker, it's a chain signal. that's the out. So I can rip up that and that. Right, rail planner is going to get confused by all these logs, so let's not give it an excuse. Okay, so I want to go from there to there, except I only want this one track. I will probably miss something, but never mind. Okay, that one down, get rid of that. And the same here. That's it. Okay, so I have one of those, two of those, three of those, four of those. And apparently I have no chain signals. Is that because they don't fit? That looks higher than that. So does this actually have enough room? And let's mark it out again. Four. 8. 12. So it does fit. Okay, so I genuinely have no idea what's going on there. Okay, the reason I have these stackers is because I really don't want any of these trains sat on lines. I want everything off the main lines. This is starting to look like it's getting frighteningly close to this 20 million ore patch. Oh well, we will see. Okay, then I want to feed this into my first smelter. Okay. And what I want to do is make sure that there is one train stacked ready to go in. So what we need is a design for this, really, and that's why I've brought my construction chain, because we are going to attempt to design the smelter, at least lay it out, and then move it around with some blueprints. Okay, so it's pretty similar to, I'm intending to use one pretty similar to what I designed in creative mode, but we will do it again here. Let's get some of those. Okay. I don't need the landfill at the moment. That's probably too many of these drone ports. Okay. Do I have any machines here, or is it all... No, this is all wall building. I don't have an actual making things train. Well, that'll have to get solved. Okay, so we've got this stacker unit. Let's have a go at putting down unconnected. Okay. Some rail in units of some. Okay, so we're right-hand drive. We're going to have a train stop up here somewhere. Right, so let's suggest that this is going to be a 2 2 trains, 1, 2, 3, right, put some signals in because this is starting to become difficult to count. And grab that as a blueprint. So we have locomotive, locomotive, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go back and count in a minute because counting's difficult. 5, 6, 7. Try again. 6. Is that right? Not convinced. Okay, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, we should have 4 free. Yeah, so there. Is that correct? That seems really weird to me. I'm going to start putting down trains because I'm not sure how to do this without actually putting down an example. Okay, so those are the 2 locomotives at front. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, we were out of stride. Okay. So then 1 there, 1 there. There. Okay. Then we need our that's our 3rd carriage. And then I don't seem to have another locomotive, so let's grab another one of those. Okay. And it's directly behind it, so yep, these all have 4 free signal spots behind them. Okay, so that's our base. Let's grab a blueprint of that. From that signal to that train stop. Okay, and then just to be sure, let's rip up the beginning and the end. Wonderful. Okay, so this is our basic 8 carriage stop. We want to center this on these poles. And I would really like to carry on the same pattern of wires and power poles and lights. we are going to align things as far as possible. All right. So then, if we were building here, we would have drone ports. And I think this is about as far out as I would want to. How far out do I want to go from the train? It's tempting to butt it right up against the train, but that seems a bit scrounge. Let's go out to the first carriage. Okay, so that would be the first carriage signal, and that's the second carriage signal. Okay, and we've got a spare square somewhere. So it can either be a spare before or a spare after. Okay, so we're looking at building out to roughly there. Obviously, in reality, we'll have a bit more. Okay. And when we come out of this here, I then want to be able to fit an entire train behind this. So we have, this is a blueprint. I am going to tear this up. There's method in my madness, I promise you. Just check I do have a blueprint. Yep, I do. All right. Because this is going to be the basic setup for all of our 8 train areas. So it's worth getting right. So if we put this down with some room to spare, let's put it over here somewhere. Wonderful. Okay. So then what I want is an out. Can I take this out and still have the signal look? Yep. And we probably are really chasing every single square here. Okay, so that's out that way. And again, we have, yep, one goes there. And this is where I kind of need to put trains down because I don't know how else to do the spacing. Okay. So we're going to fit 2 in down here somewhere. I'm not sure quite how that's going to work. There we are, that's exactly it. Okay, so 1, 2, so that is the locomotives. So then we can use our other blueprint as a ladder. So we've got our, except this is not going to work because it's using it, it's counting in 2s because trains are special. Well, right, we know it's off by a bit. Okay. So we have our, oh there we are, that lines up. We have 3, because we have a locomotive in this gap, then we have a locomotive and 1 carriage here. So that's locomotive, locomotive, carriage. Run back. Right, so then this would be the corresponding back there. That means we can trim that off. And all of that. Okay, so that is one in the station and one in the spout. And we don't need these two signals, they were just there as markers. So that's our train input. We want to make sure that we can always get a train out. And the train out is going to be the same size. So it's going to be that flipped. So it's going to have the same straight size. There we are. Without the... Oh, I got it without, that's fine. Okay, so if I go up here and I find the first place that I can curve and still have our train station. Is that there? Can I pull this out? Yeah, I've still got the train station. Brilliant. Then I can take that straight. No, not that straight. And I want to do it there. Okay, so if I've done that correctly, then placing that there would allow exactly one train to get out from here with its 8 carriages and 4 locomotives. And that is our train unit. So let's take a blueprint of all of that. Ooh, that's not very good. Right, let's kill those using the destroyer capsules I have. Okay, where did you come from, you horrible things? Came from over here somewhere. So there must have been something I missed when I did my barrage. I guess as I fill in more and more radars, this will become less of an issue. See if I can find it, but here we are. Okay, must have got missed. Well, bye-bye. Let's hope that's the end of the problem. Right, run back down. This build is just so vast that I've never had a build where I could just lose byte bases before. Okay, so we're down here. We are going to grab this, assuming it to be correct. So if we've done this correctly, this is exactly one train in a stacker, one train loading or unloading, and then one train here so that it's freed up the station ready for the next train. We are going to call this a station with a something stacked. All right, that'll do. Station S. And let's rip the whole thing up, because we are going to require multiple smelters. And this is kind of the point of this. We are going to end up putting down multiple units on the one site. So I want to make sure that we can build these things out to play nicely together. Okay, so you come out of this stacker. This is just somewhere to buffer the trains to get them off the main track. Where have I put the... There, okay. So then you'd be looking to go into something like this, which we can't get to yet because we need to move across on the track. And we need to center on that power pole. So let's bring the power pole up much further than it needs to go. Okay, not a problem. Where did it go? Oh, there. Okay, so where is the center? Somewhere there. Okay. Now, the issue then becomes, can we join this easily onto the stacker? Because we need to bring a lane in. And this is where I kind of like counting in powers of 2. Because I don't actually know how many of these are going to go down here. It's going to be lots. Back up a bit. Okay, so you come out of here. One option is to head sideways. Right, so let's just take this a long way. Then if we grab the blueprint again. Okay, so if we were to center this, somewhere like that. This is probably not, I'm going to put it down in the wrong place intentionally. Okay, just so that we can queue up this line. Yeah. So what I want is for this light to be here. Okay, so let's rip up that and all of that and all of that and all of that and all of that. And I think that. And we will then put this down so that that light lines up. Okay, we can pull off this one. No, we can't because we are full. Okay, let's make landfill. If in doubt, make landfill. Okay, let's dump things out to the train because it's got a trash cart. And I need to pick up something that I can trash. Definitely don't need a fish. Okay, so don't need the coal or the stones or the wood. Okay. So let's see if we can pull up this one square. Yep, we can. Is that the best we can do? No. Okay, that's the best we can do. And for now, let's just bring that in, although I'm pretty sure that's not the line we will ultimately want. Okay, so that is bringing in ore. And we also need to bring in... Yeah, I don't want to use the same stack, so I need something like this, but wider. So let's make this, let's drop down the station. Where's the station blueprint there? Okay, so that's our station. And I want to what are my choices here? I don't want it there because there won't be room for signals. So it looks like that's the option. Okay. And grab some more rail. Okay. That's it. So that there, although I think it's probably a single track too far, and a choice there. So hopefully that means that if we then were to, let's blueprint this with a new blueprint. Right, so the idea is we would then, for the next unit, we would basically blueprint this. There you are. And it would go down over here. Somewhere like that. So that allows us to stack up a pick up and drop off train. Don't know how close we can get it. We would fill in a track here to feed it. And then we're pretty much guaranteed there is always a train in the pipe. And we can keep extending this arbitrarily. Okay, so we may need to do some power of two shenanigans at some point to make things naturally balance. But I think that's an optimization for another day. Great. And there. So I'm hoping there's enough, well, there's definitely enough room there. Good. Then we can signal this as appropriate to get very long trains out. Five, 10 to there, that's 5, 6, 7, meh. Okay, so this is really about throughput rather than waiting. So 4 carriages, 4 carriages, 4, and then some, that's fine. All right, so this is our basic template for a single unit. Building up a nice lot of blueprints here and filling our inventory with them. So at some point we'll need to swap lots of blueprints for a blueprint book. I think possibly what I need to do is turn all of this stone into landfill. And then possibly put all the landfill in the train. I'm not really sure the best way to do this. Alright, let's head over to our train and the trash car. Because the next thing is to set up a building train. Yeah, so I've got trash here. There's not a lot I can do about the trash. I don't want to be requesting personal roboports anymore. The trains can go back in here. Okay. And I want to take a blueprint of basically everything from there. Okay, so this is it really. The next job is for me to go back to the base and set up a building train. So this train is optimized for building walls and things, and I'm not going to mess around with it because I'm going to need to build walls and things again in the future, but I need to set up a train which is designed for building smelters, and then possibly a different train which is designed for building tier 3 assemblers. Maybe the one train that does both. It's going to be just a carriage full of speed modules, a carriage full of productivity modules, beacons, machines, inserters, and that's pretty much it. So I am gonna, wow, that's a lot of flashing lights. Oh, it's probably all the, wow, look at that. That's how big one unit is. That's amazing. That's without any of the machines there. So this 9.2 is not going to get used. This 20 million is going to get built over. We're going to have something similar out the other side for the copper. That's amazing. Wonder how close it'll get to this 50 million patch. Do we have other big patches of iron we can use? There's this here, which is 53. So the iron, 53 million, confirm. Let's put an X there tentatively. Okay, so we may end up building over this. I hadn't seen that coming. Anyway, the next thing is to set up our train for building the smelters, and I will do that offline because it's more of the same really. It's put in one of these tracks, set up some of these, and I will see you again later. All right, bye-bye.